Hey guys, it's Will. I wanted to show you how to find some hot stocks like oil, shipping, or whatever sector you're thinking is hot at the moment. In a previous video, I talked about Morningstar industry groups. So in TC2000, when you open up the watch list tab menu, there's this Morningstar industry group. And the problem with that, as you might have seen, is that, or one of the issues, I guess, was when you look at the sector and you see, something that looks interesting, you have to kind of go back and type in the industry, like the sub-industry group. So it's a bit of a manual process. And so I was emailing the tech support at TC2000, and they said you're better off using a drill down layout which shows all the sectors. So the way you do that is in TC2000 you have these tabs at the bottom and you have different views for your charts. So I'll give you one other example. I haven't used it for just a bit right now, but I've got this tab called 3/8 Trap. It's from Doug at Right Way Options, and this just shows a 3 and 8 moving average, exponential for a stock. And the interesting thing is, you basically, it allows you don't see the price or anything like that. So you can buy, the idea is to buy when the moving averages are close together and then they kind of go up. You might want to sell up there, and then you get another chance when they get close together. So sometimes, a lot of people are tempted to buy after it's gone up quite a bit. And this can give you an idea not to do that. And then this one goes underneath, so you could short it or just not do anything once the 3 moving averages there. So I didn't want to talk about that today, but just showing you the different tabs. And so there's this little thing here. It says new layout tab. You click on that, and it gives you these different tabs. And one of them is called Drill Down. Fundamentals gives you all the earnings and dividends and stuff like that. Sector by year is really nice. I don't know if I showed that one. I think I did. Yeah, I did that. I showed that when you were trying to look at really well performing stocks over a period of time. Anyway, that's how you do it, and you pick the drill down one. So I've done that, and I'll show you that one. So this has the sectors at the top over here on the left, and then underneath industry indexes. And each of these sectors will have a whole bunch of industry indexes underneath it. And then when you click on the industry, which is a subcategory, over here you'll see all the stocks in that industry. So it's unbelievable. And also you can learn a lot about what sectors there are and what stocks are in there. You can also when you click on each of these sectors, this changes to the specific industries. But also if you click on this, you'll see the stocks at that level for that group, which is nice too, because sometimes you want to see the best, the highest percent change for a stock, for the whole sector rather than the individual industry. So in terms of oil and shipping, you might find that just because it's in the top category, but this is a daily change. Yesterday we had a bit of a down day, and it looks like today we're going to have one as well. But if you were looking at, say, energy, you click on the energy, and the nice thing is you might not be aware of the industry indexes underneath that. So it's not just like energy, oil, whatever. There's drilling, exploration and production, midstream, integrated equipment. So like one idea people had or you might have heard about, was when oil shuts down. It's good to know kind of how everything works in terms of the economy, and I'm still figuring that out. But for example, when oil was going down and people figured they were going to be shutting wells because they don't need to produce that much oil, then you're looking at services that would might be good, like oil and gas equipment and services, as part of the companies in terms of the drilling companies or the exploration and production. But you never know. You have to look at the charts and see what's happening. But it's just a bit of a guidance you might, if you know like how the things are connected. So in terms of energy, if I just click on that as a high point, as I said yesterday, there was a little bit of a down day, but this one shows up QEP. And, of course, I promote looking at charts, and that's partly why I'm doing these videos, but, I'll have to do more videos on how I'm doing it and how I evaluate stocks, but this is something that was moving quite well. You can see this uptrend here, and then you can see where it bounced off this 34 exponential moving average, and here it's broken down, it's come back and sort of bounced off the 50. So that could be a good sign that there's more up movement, and it might not be today, but there is that. And this is a dollar stock, so of course you have to be careful with these types of stocks. Some people don't want to trade them, they look at the volume or whatever, but it's just a way to find the ones that are going well. So this is called FET, Forum Energy Technology, and there's a spike here, and then it gets pushed back. And this is also a fairly inexpensive one. So if you're interested in drilling down to a specific industry, let's go with E&P. You have Ring Energy, and that looks like generally really nice. It's at the 50. You don't know, it takes time. Sometimes it goes up above the 50 and it comes back a bit to test it as support, and then it goes, or other times they just go right through it. So that's how you can find that type of thing. Energy, there's so many, and also you can put your scans on here. Oh, I'm sorry, I had a scan checked already. So it kind of was filtering these for those rounded bottom breakouts. But so Chaparral, 58% gain yesterday. So even with some of a lethargic market yesterday, there was quite a few stocks that you could find that would have done well if you found them. People were asking me how I found certain stocks even yesterday, because they were, some of them were doing really well. So we can look around at different areas. So for example, if you want to look at shipping, because that's been pretty hot, there's this sector called industrials, and then down here underneath there's shipping and ports, and that has a nice uptrend. And if you sort, that's not the only way, but sorting by percent change, and you can see here salt. Like I said, there's been a bit of a downturn because I think there was some news that when you hear news that might be positive, like people are going to start consuming oil, or there's no more place to ship, or there's no more place to store the oil, or you don't know, probably signs that there's a improving economy and vaccines. You don't, all of a sudden the ones that were hot. That's the thing you have to be careful with some of these sectors, is that if people sense that there's a vaccine or something or whatever gives them hope, some of these temporary sectors that boomed might drop quite a bit. On the other hand, some sectors are doing well and might keep doing well, internet based things, because people are going to be more apt to use them in the future. So you never know. You can see here, it depends. Just using the percent change, you might miss like the ones that people were talking about right now, because they're not like right at the top. But NAT, it kind of hit a peak here, came down, hit a peak here, and come down. So I think I mentioned this in videos, I tweet about it as well, is when it's up here, a lot of people want to buy because it's spiking. and you have to be very careful. Because like I said, this is an 8 exponential moving average, this black line. And once you see the stock going way up like this, a lot of people buy up here and they end up getting, killed. So if you can buy near the trend line, down closer would be a good idea. But that's that's how you can find the shipping and the stocks in that whole sector. So it's very powerful, and you can obviously, with sorting by percent change, you can see how much better this one looks. And everyone's talking about NAT and a couple of others, but this one is NMM. And here's another one where you see it hit the 50 moving average. So if you're buying down here and you start to get close, you could sell and then just wait to see what happens. So of course it goes down, if sort of goes flat, gets crushed in between some of these. And then once it pops through, you could jump in again right here. So I in 2C2000, I have these little arrows, and I put, even if a stock's gone too far, which I'm not saying, is I put arrows potentially where I might want to get in, and then I try to figure out how I would detect those through scans and stuff. So I probably wouldn't, if I saw a stock here with this moving average really close, I probably wouldn't get in. And then once it broke through the 50, so this is pretty much an open and a close above the 50. And that could be, you could either wait for the next day. Once you see it start to move up, that would be the jump in point like that. And of course you see the next day it comes right back down. So it's been a very up and down day-to-day market. But anyways, those are two sectors. Right now, as you can see, everything is down in terms of the percent change as of Friday or Thursday. But if I click on technology, so that was the one that least, went down the least. We can actually click on each of these and just look at the top stock in that sector. So let's just do that. I'm going to start at the bottom. 58%, 26, financial, 22, industrial, 39, cyclical, 100%. So this is, I don't like the look. So I look at the chart as well and look at the sort of the view. I don't like that look at all. That's good. That one's good. OSW, LMPX. Yeah. So these are good. And communications, real estate, AXR, defensive. Defensive is good. That one spiked yesterday. So there's still movers. That one spiked. Computer, education, beverages and soft drinks. So there's still, even with yesterday's moves, there were stocks that were moving. Healthcare, 104%. So if this is biotech, stuff like that. If you're Thermogenesis, that was a good one. MTP. So there's still a lot of things that moved. I think even the ETF for biotech was down, but there's always, as you can see, healthcare was down 1%. And if we look at the biotech, that was down 1.8%. So even with that, you have these unbelievable gainers in various, biotech. So you have to kind of find the golden nuggets, like this one. And then technology, Zila 63. No, that's a kind of like a penny stock, they would say. This is like a fry pan bottom. It's really flat, but you start to see it rising. And so you can put an alert right here above like the high of this local spot. And then once it crosses that, but like I said, some of these are pretty low price stocks, and the volume you have to check out and stuff. But this had a lot of volume, but a lot of, historically, just before that day, it was pretty low. SPY Energy, Mark, 32%. All right, well, I think that's good enough. This is a really slick way of finding. So if you're hearing about a certain sector, you can go in there. If you like a stock in a certain area, you can use that to find other stocks. It's a really nice organized way, top down. You don't have to just look at like the percent gain today to find the top stocks. You could put whatever scans that you want, and those are where you have formulas. And I'll just do that as an example. If I get rid of this condition, you add a condition, and you could type in whatever your, multiple things, but let's just see what they have under basic. Price, you could limit the price if you don't want to buy those really cheap stocks. You could say, let's just look at some things that I've typed in. 52-week high. So Neon, so see that? If you scroll back to, roughly, well, you can see here, just to show that it works, that's a 52-week high. I'd have to go back to roughly May here. Yeah, so 52-week highs, if that's what you're interested in. If you saw this back in January and you said, I don't want to buy this until it gets above that high, which is around $3, you could put an alert at that point. But you can see here, when this thing's going flat like that, you can put a line, say when it crosses that, and then you start to get it right around there. So these are all stocks that hopefully looks like they are. So those are nice ones. So you can filter a lot of stuff as well within that sector and just find things that you're interested in. All right. Hope you enjoy that. We'll talk to you later.